Welcome. This is a presentation from DIY Marketing, where we say, yes, you can. Now, roll up your shirt sleeves and get out your elbow grease. You're going to learn how to become a dynamic DIY marketer.
Hi, I'm Lauren Darr for DIYmarketing.tv, and today we're going to talk about press conferences. You decided that you have newsworthy information and have made the decision that you are going to hold a press conference, and now you're saying to yourself, okay, now what do I need to do? And I'm going to give you some quick bullet point steps to follow in order to make sure you have a successful press conference. First, define your goals for the press conference itself. Know what it is that you're trying to achieve, what type of exposure you want, who do you want to be there, and what are your needs and wants out of the press conference itself. Your next step is going to be to determine the message that you want to convey. Decide what it is you need to talk about and how do you need to position any solution or product that you're offering. Your next step is going to be to find an appropriate location. This can really depend on whether you're doing something locally, so you might want to do something at a hotel. If you have your own big enough facility to have a press conference, that's good too. If you're away at a trade show, you might need to find facilities that are away and out of town or out of state. Once you've done that, you need to set the time and the date for the press conference itself so that you can publicize that information and get maximum effect by letting the media know ahead of time that this press conference is coming up. Then, of course, your next step would be to invite the media and also invite any guests that you think might be appropriate to have at your press conference. For example, any dignitaries in an area. If you, for example, are doing a press conference on a groundbreaking or business expansion and you want some of the local council members to be in attendance at the press conference, make sure that you send them a formal invitation to the press conference itself. Then you want to prepare your spokesperson and make sure that they are ready to stay on point and focus on the message that you want to convey at your press conference. And you might also think about having a facilitator that will facilitate any people that will speak. They will introduce them. They will have the pauses in between speakers if you have multiple speakers, and make sure you have the proper introductions and can facilitate question and answer period after any announcements are made at the end of the press conference. The next thing that you need to do is make sure you've got your materials prepared, and this includes any visual aids that you may want to put up or show, whether they're electronic or whether it's actual signage that you want to have at your press conference. On the note of signage, make sure it's easy for people to find out where the press conference is, especially if they're at a trade show and they're walking through a big hotel, like some of the big hotels in Vegas can tend to be. Make sure you have some signage throughout that point people in the right direction so that you make it easy for them. The next thing you want to do is practice, 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 because practice makes perfect, and this will help you stay on point and focus your message and stay clear during the press conference itself. And the last stage, of course, is it's showtime. It's time for you to host that press conference and give it your best shot and do all of those things that are in alignment with your message points, entertain the media, and make sure that you get your message out there and get as much exposure as you possibly can out of your press conference. If you have any questions or comments about press conferences, please feel free to send those in on our website. I'm Lauren Darr for DIYmarketing.tv.
This has been a presentation of DIY Marketing. Thank you for joining us. Now get out there and market, because, oh yes, you most certainly can.